Hey folks, before we start today's video, I just want to let you know that all of my YouTube videos are now archived at fromthefield.tv. In case anything happens to me on YouTube, we're there now, 100% independent and ad-free. So you can go and check that out. And later in this video, I'll have an offer. If you want to become a fromthefield.tv member, I've got a 50% discount for you. Stick around to the end of the video to hear about that. Enjoy. Good morning. Just out here on my land, going for a little bit of a walk and looking at the land and having some perspective on some things before a lot changes here. I'm going to be making some epic changes on this land this year. So I don't post much to YouTube these days besides my live streams. And so for some of you who may not be aware, my family, my wife and I and 2 kids, we purchased 40 acres this year. Deep in the country. We're in the heart of nature. We are in the mountains and in the forest, but we do have some areas that are open. And we're preparing to get completely off grid and really go for it. You know, anybody who has been watching my work, or you're a fan of the idea of permaculture, this year we're going to do it all. And this is going to be the biggest year of my life as far as developing a piece of land. We're going to go for it all out. So this video, I'm going to explain to you guys and talk a little bit about what is going to happen on this land this year. So it's a bit of a declaration, and you're going to see all of this unfold. Everything that I'm going to do this year is all posted exclusively at fromthefield.tv, just like what I did last year. So last year, I built a cooperative market garden that's on a ½ acre, and my intention there was to build food security for myself, my family, and some immediate friends, but also showcase and share how building a piece of property like this or a farm like this can be done really fairly easily and inexpensively, and all of that is up at fromthefield.tv. So stick around to the end of this video, and I've got an offer. If you want to become a member of fromthefield.tv, I've got an offer that's about 50% right now that's going to run through the rest of this month. So stick around to the end if you want to hear about that. So I want to explain to you guys what I'm doing up here. So we bought 40 acres. This is it's off-grid. We're in the middle of nowhere. We're very removed from civilization. It's dead quiet out here. We're on a mountain. We're deep in the forest. We've got about 30 acres of standing timber here. But this property is not your typical, it's not a farming property. It's probably what people would call recreational. It's on a mountain. We've got lots of rock. There's not a lot of soil here, but we have a lot of other really good resources. We actually have 3 water capturing draws on this property. There's a drilled well here. There's also a dug well here that already has a cistern attached to it. So there was already a decent amount of resources on this property. It had a small house with a little bit of an off-grid system. We're totally off-grid here. You can't get a cell signal out here. This is exactly what I want. And what I'm going to be doing this year is building the ultimate off-grid homestead. So we're preparing for the shit to hit the fan, which I have been for a long time, but this is the ultimate expression of that. And so on this land, I'm going to be doing a lot. We're going to be building, actually, let me just show you. So this is the site. We're actually going to be building it's around 2,400 square foot passive solar home. So this home is going to be super efficient with most of the windows open to the south so that it captures the most amount of natural light and heat from that light. The house is going to have a masonry heater, which is a wood fire masonry heater. We have lots of wood here, and so we're going to be maximizing that resource that's very renewable to heat our home. We're going to be putting in a 15 kilowatt solar array system with a lot of battery, probably 60 kilowatts of battery storage. And we're going to have a backup diesel generator there, but we're also looking at a third alternative for generating electricity, which is going to involve steam power coming from burning wood. More on that, and all these plans might change as they go. But we put it in this house. We're going to be building quite an epic garden And sorry about the noise, that's my snowshoes. We've got about 3 feet of snow up here. But let me share with you what we're gonna do for our garden. So up in this zone here, we're gonna be terracing a lot of this ground. And you can see some orange stakes in there. I've actually started to mark out some where these terraces are gonna go. But our property is hilly. We don't have any areas that are totally flat except for the houses right now. But we're going to be putting about an acre of terraces in, and so that's going to involve some excavation work. We've got a big backhoe coming in with a blade on the front that's going to do a lot of that work. And I've got about a half-acre area up here, which is where the primary gardens are going to go. We're going to do a couple caterpillar tunnels up there. We're also putting a passive solar greenhouse on this property. So we're doing a ton with, really it's the 4 nexuses of human survival: food, energy, water, and shelter. We're doing all of those things. So there's about a total of an acre of food production going in here. And so half acre of that is garden-based annual vegetable production. The other half is going to be more perennial based. So a lot of nut trees, fruit trees, all kinds of other perennial fruits, anything that we can grow in this area. So, you know, we've got our hascap berries, our raspberries, we're going to do grapes up here, all kinds of stuff. We're going to do it all. And this is the biggest project I've ever done for myself, because I'm going to be spending a lot of money. But you know what? It's taken me a long time to get to the point where I could do this kinds of thing. Right now, I'm actually, as we speak today, I'm taking a break from my work, but I'm actually logging here. I've got a chainsaw and I'm out cutting down trees because I've got to clear out some trees in these top terrace areas so that we can get the excavator in. We want to do that without the excavator just so we don't wreck our chainsaws and get dirt in it and all that. So that's what I'm doing today. And I've also put a steel building up here, which is my shop, which is where I'll be working up here during the winter. So I've got sort of a sheltered area where I can build things and whatnot. But we're going full tilt. I mean, yeah, we're still in the heart of winter. You know, we're in a slightly colder climate up here than we are in Kelowna. Probably about a zone cooler, and it's proper winter. We're high elevation. Right now it's about -5 Celsius up here. It's not crazy cold. Hasn't been below -8 Celsius up here, even at nighttime. But it has been a bit of a warm winter. So this is, you know, this is fairly typical Canadian winter up here. But the thing that's amazing about this property is we get a lot of sunlight. We're high elevation. We're about 1,000 meters here of sea level elevation. And so we get above a lot of these inversions. Down in Kelowna, there's a tendency in the winter there when the temperature drops, clouds settle in the valley and it stays socked in for 3 months at a time. That actually makes the solar system that I have at my urban homestead in Kelowna, it doesn't really get used for those 3 months. It's very productive for the other 9, but down there it's not as productive. Where up here, with our solar array that we're putting in here, which is actually going to have 100 panels. It's going to have 2 separate arrays that are on racks, and they can be tilted in 3 different ways so that you got a spring and fall aspect, you've got a winter aspect, and a summer aspect on 3 different racks. None of the electrical systems that for the off-grid electrical systems will be attached to the house. It's actually one thing I was really firm on doing with this design is keeping everything off the house, keeping my house as very healthy and safe as possible. I know a lot of people comment that solar panels generate electromagnetic frequencies or dirty electricity, which is true to a point. Actually, in my home in Kelowna, we've measured it and it's nothing significant, but it's a smaller system there. It's only 11.5 kilowatts. Plus, the size of the system we want, we wouldn't have enough roof space to handle all the panels. So it's a big system. But it just actually makes more sense to keep it off the house anyways, because that way I can change the angle of those panels for every different season of the year, which is important to maximize the energy. And yeah, so let me actually head over. I'm going to walk over towards the garden area and kind of show you guys what I'm going to be doing there. You really need snowshoes on this property just to get around. we've got about 3 feet of snow on the ground right now. And again, sorry for the noise. We had a lot of warm weather recently, actually, that kind of melted the snow, and then we had some rain come in on it, which really crystallizes it. I love more than ever 4 defined seasons. And that's what I love about this property up here, is that the winter is so opposite from the summer. You know, in Kelowna, where I've been living for the last 12 years, our winters are kind of mild. We don't get a ton of snow. It's just cloudy and kind of wet. Not as bad as coastal British Columbia, but close. I appreciate more than ever a proper winter. And it's sunnier too, which is actually more fun. And I mean, up at this property, we snowboard on this property. I can literally snowboard from our house. We can climb up to the ridge. We got about a 6-minute shred downhill, and then we can hike back up 20 minutes and do it again. Or we just bring the snowmobile down and pull some people up. It's a lot of fun. So I'm up here at this area that's going to be our primary garden area. And it's a little bit of a... Let me get in here and show you a bit better. I'm cutting trees down in this area. But this, where I'm standing is kind of this little bit of a knoll on top of it's a bit of a smaller ridge. And this is what I'm going to be scraping down. So right now I'm logging all of this out using my skid steer to pull the logs out. So this is going to be my primary garden area. And here we're going to have a lot of raised beds. It could be as many as 80 30-inch by 14-foot raised beds built out of fir. A lot of that fir I'm going to log here because it was all mostly Douglas fir up on this property. We're going to have 2 caterpillar tunnels here, and we're going to have the back end of it on this knoll, which is, we're going to have this path that comes down here. And on the north side, because this is our south over this way, on the north side is going to be a sort of a recreational food forest. But we're going to have a lot more food forests around on the other terraces. But here, it'll be this food forest where, you know, this is where we spend a lot of our time. And so we want our kids and our friends' kids running around in there. We're going to have a little gazebo in there. And that's where, you know, call that our zone 1 of the garden. That's what's going to be here. This knoll area starts to kind of go down. And then there's going to be another series of terraces that wrap around this. And then that's where we're going to have more of these food forest areas. All kinds of perennials in here. But this property it's very hilly. But there's areas that you can terrace. And so there'll be little staircases in between. And we're really going to green all of this up. This was actually logged. I don't know how long ago it was logged. Might be 20 to 30 to 40 years ago. Because these trees are, you know, these are trees that grew as regeneration after it was logged. But the reason it's so brown and dry here in the summer, you can't see that now, is because there's just no tree cover here. So my plan is to regenerate this land and bring water and moisture back into the landscape, and we're going to do that through terracing. We can't really do traditional swales here, you know, your classic permaculture swales. We can't really do these here. It's too rocky. But we can terrace. And so the plan with the terraces is to have them more or less flat, but about 1 degree sloping in towards the hillside so that water just comes back into the hillside. That's the plan. We'll have to see how it goes. But things change as you go. You know, I've learned that throughout the years as I've worked on these projects, or worked on various different projects around the world for people. But you know, it takes time to get to a point where you can do this kind of thing. And like I said at the beginning, it's been a long time coming for me, guys. This was my dream to do something like this a long time ago when I was a hipster musician in Montreal, and I was paying attention to what was going on in 2007, 2008 with the financial recession and all that cronyism that was happening then. We're experiencing all that same stuff now, though it's a lot worse. This is more of a technocratic takeover this time. But I wanted to do this forever. That's what got me into farming. And it's taken me 10 years of hard-ass work to have the resources where I could afford to do something like this. And so this year, I'm going to be showing you guys exactly what we're going to do. I've got a lot of team members helping me. This isn't just a one-man show. You know, if you've been watching me on YouTube for the last 6 years, you've seen me bootstrap it. That's what I did. But this is a project where I've got a lot of people involved. I've got an architect I'm working back and forth with right now, who's also got an engineer on his team. That's what we're designing our house with. We've got a building crew that are already picked out. They're going to be coming out here to build our home and the greenhouse. I've got a team of people running excavators that are going to be doing a lot of the earthworks. I also have a machine myself. We've actually got 2 machines up here now. I've got a skid steer and we've got a small mini excavator. So we can do a lot of work ourselves. But we've also got a team of people coming in to put in all the power system. So spending a lot of money, making a lot of things happen. And I don't want to put this out to say, hey, look at me, look what I'm doing. It's not about that. You can do all these things too. They take time. And what I hope is that over the last number of years, I've showed you how you can do things really DIY. I've got hundreds of YouTube videos that show how to do that. But what I want to show now is how you can make a truly regenerative and off-grid homestead. And there's going to be a lot of learning and mistakes for me along the way. And I realize that. I mean, I don't try to pretend that I know more than I do. I don't know everything, but I've learned a lot over the years, and I'm fortunate enough now with the 10 years that I've been on this journey that I have a lot of people around me who can fill in the blanks, and I've got those people close to me, and that's what's going to be happening here. It's going to be absolutely epic. So you guys are going to see this year, you're going to see a fairly raw piece of land get developed into a full-on off-grid regenerative homestead. So all the electricity is generated off-grid, the heat's off-grid. We're going to be growing a massive amount of food up here. And you know, my plan, my intention with this whole process is when and if it gets so bad that the powers that should not be are saying that you need a vaccine to even shop here, we'll just close the gates and we'll just do our thing up here. And I hope it doesn't get that bad. Maybe there'll be some kind of revolution. I don't know. It looks like more and more people are starting to see the light and starting to wake up. But we wanted to live this way anyway. So this whole scamdemic thing has just been kind of motivation for us just to kind of finally make it happen. I wanted to do this forever. So that's what's happening. So one thing I want to offer you guys is I'm going to be posting all of this exclusively at FromTheField.tv. Very, very little of this will make its way onto YouTube. I'm sure I'll do little updates here and there, but if you are a member of FromTheField.tv or you know about it, it is my membership site where I post 99% of my content. I have posted over 600 videos there this year. We have over 1,000 videos up there. YouTube, I only have about 800 and something, and I've been posting there for 6 years. So that just gives you an idea of the volume of content. Most of what I do is all up at FromTheField.tv. Last year, I documented building a half-acre cooperative market farm, and I showed my members every step of the way. Every resource we used, every single thing we did. This year, it's going to be exactly the same, but it's going to be more hardcore because you're going to see other team members here doing all the things that they do. So you're going to get a window into what it looks like to set up the off-grid power system, what it looks like to build a passive solar home, a passive solar greenhouse, all the processes in the garden, the development of the forest garden, planting trees, building beds, building greenhouses. It's going to be insane. And so it's going to be the biggest year of my life, and I'm more excited than ever. And so if you want to join me in this journey, there's a a code down below, Jan, all caps, Jan 2021. Use that code and you'll get 50% off your From the Field annual membership. So if you sign up for a year, you'll get it 50% off. So it's $120. Normally it's $180. And you'll be able to keep that price in perpetuity. And that's the way it's always worked at From the Field. So when I first launched From the Field in January 2019, it was a lot cheaper then because there was a lot less content then. So the founding members came in at a very low price point, and if they have stayed as members, they've kept that price point the whole way. And so that's how it works. Whatever you sign up in as, you keep that price in perpetuity as long as you stay a member. And if you want to get a sense of what some of our members are saying, just chime into my Q&As that I do here on YouTube every Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we have an insane amount of content and value in this site. And it isn't just me who's sharing content. We've got Dakota Cohen, Rob Avis, Dan Cloutier, Stephen Cornett. We've got some other great content creators that are in different parts of the world that are making content for this site. And the whole intention with my site is to curate content. You know, one of the problems here on YouTube is that there's so much stuff out there and everybody wants to be a creator or a content creator. And there's a lot of stuff out there that's just not really good. And so my intention with From the Field is to curate the right way. So putting all the contents up there through my experience and my perspective and present it to you as high quality content. So everything that's up on the site that I don't do, so any videos from Steven or Dakota or Rob or Dan, they are all very high quality and the information is spot on and valuable. So that's what the point of that is. And so I hope you guys take the journey with me. It's going to be epic. We're already doing a lot of work. But as soon as this snow melts, we are going to be hitting the ground running and it's going to be full throttle, gangbusters, making stuff happen up here. And so join me for the journey. Head over to FromTheField.tv. Use that discount code that only works between now and the end of January. So you got about 2 weeks that you can use it. And for anybody that watches this video afterwards, it'll still work, but you'll get 25% off. So if you want to be a member of this site, sign up annually and save 50%. And I hope to see more of you guys in there. Join me for my Q&As that I do every Thursday. Oh, and there's one other thing I didn't actually mention that I'm doing at FromTheField.tv this year is I've got a series called Open Consult with Curtis. And that's where I'm going to help my members, you guys, design your homestead. And so we're going to turn it into content. And there's already a thread on the site. If you're a member, head over there and watch the video that says Open Consult with Curtis and then leave a comment. And now people are leaving, telling me a bit about their homesteads. And we're going to do a Zoom call where I help you design your property. So my hope is that this year, not only am I going to make this fantastic, magical, off-grid, regenerative homestead, but I can help you get a good start on yours as well. So head over to FromTheField.tv, sign up, use that discount code, and I'll see you guys in the next video.